Laser sights can deter threats and aid in quick target identification, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
This is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, now available on iTunes and other podcast clients, and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android. Feel free to call Tom now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN or 866-825-5486, or email Tom at guntalk.com. Now, once again, here's Tom.
All right, back with you, Tom Gresham. It is Gun Talk. 866-TALK-GUN is the magic number. Easier to do it this way. Just dial Tom, talk, gun. Even I can remember that one. We're talking about a lot of different things. Of course, it is Memorial Day weekend and remembering those who have given their lives in the service of our country. Those who, as I say, raised their hand, took an oath, and said, yeah, I'll step forward. I'll take the risk, knowing that I may die doing it. Fine people, men and women, all. And, of course, our people who are serving and have served. We send thanks to all of you. We do appreciate that. A lot of things for us to talk about. Larry, Greg, don't go anywhere. I'm going to get to you. I know you're on hold. But right now, we're going to bring in a good friend of ours, a longtime friend for Gun Talk, Tom Taylor from SIG Sauer, the fabulous gun, ammo, optics, good Lord, everything. I swear, Tom, you're going to start making cars if you're not careful.
If you can shoot out of them, we might, you know.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
I am excellent. So, I mean, I know we just had a crew up there, just past week, shooting some video with you guys, and it's hard to pigeonhole SIG these days because, you used to say, well, they're a gun company, but good grief, you keep doing more stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the plan. I mean, you could take it a step further and say we were a handgun company, for a long, long time, even though there were rifles, and the history certainly had if you go back and look way back in history, a lot of history with rifles, but more recently, it's been a handgun company until the last several years when we've expanded into rifles, suppressors, optics, ammo, air guns. Of course, we're trying to promote SIG Academy, our training programs more and more. So, yeah, it's very diverse, and that's been the plan. And we're not done yet.
And you're not done yet. Yeah, exactly. It's funny. Every time we talk, you always say, and we're not done yet. And I know, by the way, we should mention, and you're making guns right here in the USA.
Yeah, that's something that we're we've been doing a lot of video lately. We had your team up last week, but also we're working on a couple different videos to try to tell both the Made in America story as well as the history of SIG, because I'm noticing more and more as I address groups of people. We've been bringing a lot of retailers into New Hampshire to let them see and touch and feel our factory and SIG Academy. And I always start the week off by saying, how many people here know the history of SIG? And these are usually about 30 gun retailers, and the first 3 sessions we've had, not one hand has gone up for people who truly know the history of SIG. So it's just people don't realize it's the second oldest gun company in continuous operation, at least the J.P. Sauer side of the business. And then SIG, Swiss Industrial Group, came to be in the mid-1800s as a Swiss wagon wheel company that bid on a rifle contract. So people just don't know the lengthy history of the company, and we're trying to work on changing that.
You're making guns right up there in New England. You're making ammo down in Arkansas. I mean, you've got plants and things all over the country. For those who don't know, just from a pure square footage basis, you more than doubled your square footage in the last, 5-6 years?
Yeah, we've actually, for this video we're working on, we're doing the math to add all that up, and it's between 500,000 and 750,000 square feet between the 4 physical facilities in New Hampshire, the ammo facility in Arkansas, which is about 70,000 square feet, and then the optics facility in Oregon, which is about 40,000 square feet. And we just, as you saw a couple weeks ago at the NRA show, we launched our new BDX platform from our optics division. And also, I don't know if you caught this or not, we just won the service marksmanship rifle contract for the U.S. Army.
Ooh, that's big.
Tango 6. I guess the Army has decided they want to move from a fixed 4 power to a 1 to 6 variable with a wide field of view. So we've just been awarded that new contract. So yeah, it's definitely a unique strategy. We're definitely working to make great guns in the commercial market, but everything really feeds off our defense business, and that's really at the core of our engineering and making sure that we're focused on that. But it has tremendous benefits in the commercial market as well.
I do want to sing the praises for just a second. I don't want us to pass it by too quickly. People, you can go to the SIG Academy. It's right up there in New Hampshire. You have world-class trainers in a great environment. When it's hot as the devil in a lot of the country, like right now, and it's going to be for the next 4 months, you can go up there where it's cooler. You can get great training. You're like, half an hour, maybe less than that from Maine. You run up there, get you some lobster. You can have a great time, have a family vacation, and get some super training at the same time.
Yeah, we're going to begin to, you're going to see over the coming weeks, we're going to start sort of propagating that quite a bit more, because SIG Academy is kind of everybody from beginner to SEAL Team 6 to British SAS. I mean, it's not unusual if you're down there to walk in the pro shop and see, some Special Forces unit from the U.S. or abroad. And then also we have, Handgun 101. And the trainers are amazing, and the feedback we get all the time, and what our expectation is that we don't want that whole, aura of, I'm a chest-pounding guy who only works with Special Forces units. I'm just as comfortable working with Grandma who's learning to shoot for the first time because she's a new gun owner, all the way up to the Special Forces guys. And it's near Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and right across the river/harbor from Kittery, Maine. And Portsmouth, New Hampshire is the third oldest city in America. I know you've been there many times, Tom. And it's historic, and it's restored, and it's restaurants and bars and history and everything you could imagine.
And you can run up and spend money at the Kittery Trading Post, too.
You can go right across the Kittery Trading Post and just past that, or outlet malls. And by the way, you can go take some training at SIG. So we're going to start definitely talking about SIG Academy a lot more in the coming weeks to make sure people understand that it's not just some military training facility, that we go soup to nuts, over 125 courses that we offer there.
All right, if you want to talk to somebody who said, I've been kind of following SIG, but I really don't know what you guys have been doing recently, what's the one or two things you say, okay, I got to tell you about this. So if you got to just tell listeners, here's the couple of things that we're up to that you really need to know about.
Well, I think, we've actually had two, almost generational launches within the last few months and weeks. The P365 has just got the gun world buzz, our new striker-fired pocket pistol. We call it a micro-compact, a high-capacity micro-compact, and that's what makes it unique. The nice part is it is a SIG, but also in its standard magazine, it has 10 rounds, which is, in at least 3, in some cases 4 cases more than most of our competitors, and it's not a double stack in any way. It's a modified double stack, but it's the same width as your standards out there, which are a Glock 43 and an M&P Shield, and the dimensions are the same or smaller in almost every dimension you can measure.
It's phenomenal. I'll tell you a quick story. We were just doing a guns and gear thing. We had several people come in. We had some trainers, and the guy said, I haven't had a chance to shoot one of those. We had the piece 365 there. So well, look, try it, He ran like 2 mags through. He went, holy cow! This is a Glock guy. He says, I would carry this in a heartbeat. I got to get one of these. It was just like that. Boom! I've got to get one of these. Was the reaction? Yeah,
it's a gun. I mean, it's a gun you can shoot. It's not a gun you tolerate. It's not a gun you make compromises. Yes. You can grip it. You can shoot it. And then there's an extended 12-round magazine, and when you put that in, it feels even more substantial in your hand, but yet it's still small. And so that has definitely taken sort of the concealed carry market by storm by not having to compromise, round count just because you have a pocket pistol. So that's doing just great things. And I'll apologize right now to your listeners because we knew it was going to be a popular product, but we just can't make enough. I mean, we're backlogged by tens of thousands of units right now, and I wish we could make more, but I just would ask the consumers out there to be patient because we're adding capacity as fast as we can. But
okay, 2 minutes. 2 minutes left. What's the other thing you got to tell people about? The other
thing, real quick, 2 minutes, is our BDX optics system, which is not shipping yet, but we did launch it at the NRA show, and this is from our optics division, the Ballistics Data Exchange. is what the BDX stands for. Mm-hmm. And it just, again, a 30-second description of it so we can get going is it's a applied ballistics app on your phone. It's a rangefinder, and it's an optic, and it gives you an exact holdover down your vertical, and it gives you wind hold. And there are systems that do similar things, but they're either a shoebox on your gun or they cost $5,000. Mm-hmm. And the price range for the kit on this is anywhere from $699 to, at the very high end, about $1,500. So, yeah, so it really does change hunting for it's primarily a hunting scope, but it really does change the game in terms of exact hold for your rifle. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be out in late June, July time period, and it's a game changer in the optics world.
All right, and of course all the information is available at the website sigsauer.com.
Yes, sir.
Tom Taylor, thank you so much. You got 5 pounds into a 2-pound bag in this case.
There you go. Always great, Tom.
Take care, my friend. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. Let's see. Larry, Greg, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you. We have room for others if you want to join us right now. Looking for your range reports. What do you think about buying? What maybe your favorite gun, favorite caliber, or maybe you can try out something new. We'd like to have those stories as well. And also, always asking the perpetual question, what's your level of commitment? What are you doing for gun rights? And it can be as simple as taking people out and introducing them to shooting, or maybe going bigger than that. 866-TALK-GUN.
All the refinements in Smith & Wesson's M&P M2.0 pistol series shrunk to a perfect carry size in the new compact version. 4-inch barrel, light crisp M2.0 trigger, aggressively textured grip for enhanced control, 4 interchangeable palm swell inserts, 2 magazines, lifetime service policy, 15-round 9mm mag, 13-round 40 mag. The M&P M2.0 compact pistol. More at smith-wesson.com.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Founded with the singular purpose of building fine sporting firearms, Kimber creates a handgun for every person and a rifle for every adventure. While embracing modern manufacturing techniques, every Kimber depends on practiced hands for assembly, fit, and finish. There's no compromise in features, materials, or performance. Synonymous with quality, precision, and excellence, and made in America. Kimber is what all guns should be. Visit KimberAmerica.com. That's KimberAmerica.com.
Okay, I admit it, I'm kind of a wildlife geek. I like bird watching and critters. I've got squirrels and rabbits and stuff in the backyard. Raccoons at night on the bird feeder. Yeah, I know, they're not supposed to be up there, but it's kind of fun to watch them. They're like goofy. But the other day, I was able to catch a deer on the Blink camera. It's very cool. We live in a neighborhood, but we've got some woods close to us. I guess it's like a lot of places. There are deer everywhere. And look, I know that the Blink camera system is a security system. It's not a trail camera, but man, it's kind of fun to be able to just tap into it. I mean, seriously, the whole thing is the Blink system is for security, and you can look at it from anywhere, and it'll send you alerts if there's a motion detection. And, it's got a lot of other features like, I think, temperature and some other things. It's just very cool, very easy. They're simple, a little bitty, packages. Each camera is like the size of a pack of cards, maybe that big, maybe a little bit smaller. Run off of AA batteries. They'll last for years. It's crazy. Doesn't take very long to set it up. Hey, if I can do it, anybody can do it, honestly. It's just simple. Works off of Wi-Fi, and it'll send you notifications. And so if you're getting, an intruder or even somebody just leaving a package at the front door, you'll get that. You could get the alert as well as see the video of it. It's very cool. Anyway, the Blink guys, they're helping us out. Very cool folks over there. They're giving us their regular deal is, they tell me that three of their cameras, rather, cost about what one of the others do, but you also get a 15% off deal. But you got to go to our part of the website for that. You go to blinkprotect.com/guntalk. You got to use the gun talk. blinkprotect.com/gun talk. People say, well, I went to the blink.com. No. blinkprotect.com/gun talk. You get the 15% off. That's cool. Hey, you might even see a deer or a raccoon or something else out there. You never know. Let's see. Greg's with us on line 3 out of Carson City. Hey, Greg, you're on Gun Talk. Hey, Greg, you there?
I am, Tom. Yeah. Hey,
yes.
Appreciate your time.
You bet. Thank you.
I'd like to disagree with you, but in a good way.
Okay, go for it.
It's in regards to your scientific method, and I agree with it, but you're leaving a variable out. You actually I've heard you talk about it twice. You talked about how back in the day, a 12-year-old could buy a gun, and, people had guns, in the schools, in their lockers, and in the back of their cars. Well, that's not happening right now, and people just are not getting the proper exposure and respect for and exposure to guns, I feel, and that maybe that's a little bit of how these people are overacting with these guns. They're getting exposure not in a proper way from folks that are more mature, but they're getting stuff online. So I just wanted to throw that out to you.
All right, let me ask you a question. While you were talking, something else hit me. I'm just thinking about this. I don't know if you caught the story this week. These parents had to sue their 30-year-old son to get a court to tell him to move out of the house. And I'm thinking,
I saw that.
Is this not the epitome of us keeping our children as children and not giving them responsibility and not making them do things and not giving them hard work and not making adults out of them? And I'm wondering if that's not part of it. Because, if you go way back, imagine in the 1930s to the 1950s, if you were growing up on a farm, you were running a tractor at age 8. And you could run the farm at age 12. Your parents could actually leave, and you could run the place for a week at age 12. Now you're 16, 17, and 18, and your poor, precious baby has to be scheduled everywhere, and you wouldn't possibly leave him or her alone anywhere. And I'm wondering if we're not just keeping these young people as babies forever and not instilling them with any kind of sense of responsibility or authority. I don't know. Just kind of a random thought. I haven't really developed it yet.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I remember when my mom, every time I'd come to a birthday, I'd be 12. She would go, "You're almost 13. You need to, So I think we do need to get folks to, come up faster and get more respect for things and be given things to do. Maybe that's part of the problem too. They don't have anything to do, so they're online. So.
Chores, good old-fashioned chores. What is your responsibility? What do you do to help this household? Physically have to do work every day because you're a member of the house. You're not a guest here. You are part of the team. You are a part of the family. And part of your job is you have to make your bed, and you have to clean the bathroom, or you have to, in my case, it was go out, love this, every morning and shovel the poop out of the dog kennel before I go to school every day. If that's not a humbling experience, nothing is. You're not going to get to feeling pretty hot about yourself when you're out there scooping the poop every morning.
Yeah, you'll get education quick.
Yeah, exactly. Appreciate the call. It's an excellent point. Thank you, sir. Let's see. John's in Mountain Home, Arkansas on 4. Hey, John, welcome to Gun Talk.
Welcome. I'm a part-time listener. What's interesting is I've listened to you, all this anti-gun stuff. But if you want to look at some they're talking about people dying and by guns. But what's interesting is I have the information from the IIHS, which is the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety.
Okay.
In 2014, 8,312 people lost their lives because of guns. Yet 32,675 people lost their lives because of vehicular traffic. So wouldn't you think that if they want to get rid of guns, why don't we get rid of vehicles?
Well, they always say, if it saves only one life, it's worth it. Of course, that's true. And up until the moment that you start infringing upon their way of life, if you say, we could have a national 40-mile-an-hour speed limit, and it would probably save 10,000 lives. 10,000 people would live every year if we did that. But we're not going to do that because that would inconvenience people. They're not inconvenienced when they get rid of your guns, when they don't have guns. So it's a level of dishonesty that is obvious and palpable. I appreciate it, John. Thank you for the call. It's an interesting point. The other part of this, and it kind of goes back to what I was talking about of the narrative, and that is you can't honestly, let's put that in, you cannot honestly, ethically look at the challenges or the harm that a product or an activity causes upon society without also looking and considering the good that it does. It'd be like saying, we know that doctors, medical mishaps kill 180,000 people a year. That's the number I've seen. 180,000 people a year die because doctors screw up. But we don't say ban doctors. Why is that? Because on, the whole, they do much more good than they do harm. Well, we know from recent data that we pull from the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, that people use guns to stop crime and protect themselves 3.5 times more often than criminals use guns in crime. So guns are good 3.5 times more often than they are bad. So on balance, there is a net good for having guns in society, but that part of the equation is dismissed because it doesn't fit the narrative. The narrative in this case is we must do something about guns, which in their vocabulary means we must get rid of them. Make no mistake, they want to take your guns.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
I guess this is predictable. Parkland victims sue, calling gun maker and seller complicit in massacre. Yeah. Parents of two of the young people who were murdered at Parkland School are suing the maker and seller of the rifle used in the shooting. The two families, let me look at this. They're suing Smith & Wesson and the seller, Sunrise Tactical Supply, saying that they, quote, seek to hold defendants legally responsible for their complicity in the entirely foreseeable deadly use of the assault-style weapons that they place on the market. Yeah, and unfortunately, I would suspect that these parents who are grieving, who are forever changed by this horrible, senseless act of murder, have probably been approached by a gun ban group who said, hey, this would be a great idea. They probably didn't tell them what happened with the Lucky Gunner lawsuit. Because the same thing, see, here's the thing. There's a federal law that says you can't hold responsible a gun company when they make a non-defective product and they sell it legally. Same thing with a gun store. Now, if they do something illegal, all bets are off. If their product is malfunction, if it's not safe, you can certainly sue. But if they sell a product that is safe and it works as it's designed and they sell it according to federal law, you cannot hold them responsible for the misuse of their product. Well, they try to do that with the Lucky Gunner. It's an online ammo seller. And eventually the judge says, no. The federal law says you can't do that, and ordered, in this case, the parents of someone who was shot to pay legal fees. And they're substantial, hundreds of thousands of dollars, basically, essentially bankrupting the parents. And I'm wondering if these folks in Florida have been told, number one, you cannot sue under this. You can't hold a gun maker liable for the misuse of its product any more than you can hold Ford legally liable for the actions of a drunk driver. And that they can and very possibly will be ordered to pay the legal fees of this gun company and this retailer that they're suing. I understand the hurt, the pain. I haven't been there. Hope I never am. But at the same time, this is a bad target selection. You're trying to blame someone who was not part of the action. You're blaming somebody who makes a legal, safe product that is highly regulated. Well, we'll go down this. I guess we'll continually go down this road, and that's why this law was passed, is to keep this kind of thing from happening. Let's go to line 3. Wes is with us out of Portland, Oregon. Wes, you have made it to Gun Talk. We're talking about kids. What do you think?
Well, thank you. Your comment and your caller's comment about the delayed adolescence syndrome with this 30-year-old guy kind of got me to call. I just wanted to make mention, and if you had previously talked about how the culture has changed so much, on Memorial Day, I must relate this. I think you'll find it interesting as regards these immature kids. Mm-hmm. My uncle was a private with the 101st Airborne in Bastogne at the Battle of the Bulge. Uh-huh. The last time I talked to him, he's in his 90s now, and he disowned me if I gave his name, but this impressed me so much. The last time I talked to him on the phone, I asked him what his dream was. They were out of food, ammo, and everything else. I said, what was it, a big meal or a good night's sleep or what? Mm-hmm. And he was dead serious. He said, my biggest dream was to reach my 19th birthday the following month. Never forgotten it.
He's 18 years old. The Battle of Bulge, they're essentially surrounded. They're cut off. They have no food. They're running out of ammo. We're trying to get people there. The Germans told him, "We got you surrounded, and you should surrender." And the commander had a one-word answer for them. You remember what it was?
Sure do. Nuts.
Nuts, exactly. Nuts, basically nuts to you, which was a popular term back then. It was the definition of a laconic answer. And then, of course, we went on to win. But the idea of an 18-year-old doing that and compare and contrast that with the 18-year-olds that we're seeing now. Not all of them are bad. I mean, I'm looking at some of the most wonderful kids out there who are doing great work and being responsible and all that. But when you got to sue a 30-year-old son to get him out, that's not the son's problem. That's the parent's problem for not being willing to, when he's outside of the house, drag all of his stuff out, throw it on the front porch, change the locks, and say, "See ya."
You and I are on the same wavelength there, Tom.
I mean, this is easy. This is not a difficult situation. You're gone. Here's $1,000, kid, or here's $100 or whatever you want. But you no longer live here. I don't know where you're going to live, but it's not here. So, I mean, there it is. Wes, thank you for that story. An 18-year-old at the Battle of the Bulge. Holy cow. Line 2, Carol's with us out of Farmington, New Mexico. Hey, Carol, you're on Gun Talk.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to tell you about when I was 7 years old on a farm out in Iowa. My dad said we could have a rifle as soon as we could shoot our initials.
No.
So about every 2 weeks we'd go to town and get a box of shells, and we'd go out and practice in a ditch we had junk in. Mm-hmm. And when I was 8 years old, I could shoot my initials. So he got me a Remington pump. Yeah. And we could take it to school and park it in the corner of the schoolhouse. And on the way home, go rabbit hunting and skin it. And Mom had cooked the rabbit, and we'd have it. Well, now my son is older and has a granddaughter, 11 years old. I taught him how to shoot, and now he and I teach her how to shoot. And right now, at this moment, they're both out at the gun range with my granddaughter. She complained that it was too noisy, and I got her a pair of earmuffs. And they're out there shooting now, and she just absolutely loves it.
That is terrific. I love the story. Thank you so much, Carol. I love the shooting your initials and then getting a gun at 8 and taking it to school and leaving it at the school, and then you can hunt your way home. Great story. Thank you so much, my friend. All right, 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. Aaron, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you. And if you'd like to join us, it's very easy. Just give me a call. Tom, Talk, Gun.
I spy a black pickup truck. Oh, come on. How about something a little easier? Okay, I spy error-free forms, fast ATF processing, a 90-day money-back guarantee, and the largest inventory in the industry. I spy Powered By. That's right. With over 300 Powered By Silencer Shop retailers nationwide, there's always one close by. Is that easy enough for you? Ha! Almost too easy.
Demand Powered By. Shop our industry-leading inventory at silencershop.com.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Legends aren't born legendary. They are proven legendary. Like the new FN 509 handgun. A direct result of over 1 million rounds of testing and a direct descendant of over 125 years of legendary FN firearms. The world's most battle-proven firearms. The FN 509. A legend in the making. Find out more at fnamerica.com.
With you. I mentioned that, of course, it's a violation of federal law now to try to hold gun companies responsible for the misuse of their lawful and non-defective products. The law is called the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, PLCAA. It was signed into law by President George W. Bush on October 26, 2005. And it basically says if a gun company makes a product that's not defective and they sell it in a legal manner, then you can't hold them legally responsible for the misuse of their product. Same with a dealer. Now, there are a lot of things that if you screw up, if you make a defective product, of course you can be held responsible or liable for that. If a gun store goes outside the bounds of the law and does something they're not supposed to do, yes, they can be held responsible for that. But if they're doing everything right, you can't blame them when somebody gets a gun, buys a gun, and then goes out and harms somebody with it. That's the essence of it. In the case of the Lucky Gunner case I mentioned earlier, I think the parents ended up with a more than $200,000 bill they had to pay. And here we have more parents trying to sue the gun makers for the parking shooting. It's I'm sorry that they have been, in my view, probably duped into doing that. Crazy. Line 1, Aaron's with us. Pensacola, Florida. Hey, Aaron, you better look out. You got Alberto headed your way, partner.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about this one. Hey, touching on that subject, I just want to get your thoughts on this. I'm not a lawyer, don't play one on TV, but don't you think those parents would be better off suing the Sheriff's Department? What is it, Broward County Sheriff's Department?
Yeah.
I mean, after all, how many calls did they have on this guy?
You know, the problem there is the law is very clear. The police have absolutely no legal duty to respond or to protect anyone. Time and time again, the courts have ruled the police cannot be held responsible for not protecting you. If you're getting raped and you're screaming at a police officer who's across the street and he or she doesn't come over and help you, there's no legal basis upon which you can sue and say, hey, you didn't come help me. So
I'm just an old country boy. I don't know, but it seems to me if the police have no legal duty to protect us, then they have no right to tell us we can't protect ourselves. Hey, real quick before I go, let us know how the rebuild on the house is going.
Oh, okay. I'll give you the update here. We are back in the house. We are 98% there. I've been hanging pictures, and I still can't find things, but that's what happens when you move. But yeah, we were actually the 1-year anniversary of our house fire is coming up June 1. So, but I appreciate you asking. We're back in, and there's some places where you're thinking, oh yeah, we don't have it. You're saying, well, go get that. Oh yeah, we don't have that anymore. One of those deals. But all in all, we were very lucky. We had good insurance, and nobody got hurt. And if you have that, don't worry. It's an inconvenience. We were out of the house for close to a year, but we're back in, and I do appreciate you asking. And let me give that update. Thank you, sir. Let me run down to Chris on 3 out of Anchorage, Alaska, one of my favorite places. Hey, Chris, you're on Gun Talk.
Yeah, just a quickie. I was listening to you talk about that 30-year-old kid having to be sued to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And your response to it? Well, your response to it actually happened to me.
Oh?
Well, I built a Harley when I was a very young man. I was 15.
Okay.
And when I started it up to tune the carburetors, my mom packed all my stuff, put it on the front porch with a note on it, and locked the doors and said, you don't live here anymore.
She didn't like the Harley, huh?
Oh, no. She was one of those that thought she was uppity and whatnot and didn't want the neighbors knowing that I was doing that kind of thing in her garage.
I see. Oh, well, it sounds like you survived it, though.
Oh, yeah. I've had a pretty good life. It's been a little colorful from time to time, but all in all, it was fun.
Well, you know what? I like that phrase I picked up from somebody. It says, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room.
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, people say that I was one of those extreme adrenaline junkies, and the bottom line is I was just having fun.
Well, yeah, exactly. And, and you're not going to, here's the deal. I once asked my dad something. And my dad had done everything, right? I mean, been everywhere, done everything, hunted on like 6 continents and been around the world and dined with kings and queens and all of that. And I said, well, what in your life that you have done that do you regret? It was interesting. He said, I don't regret anything I did, but I definitely regret several things I didn't do. Sound familiar?
Clay.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
The deal is that if you want to go back and change something, you can't, because for me personally, if I hadn't lived the life I did, I wouldn't be the man I am today.
Well, there you go. That pretty much covers it. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. That's very interesting. But yeah, the whole idea of, I remember Dad saying he got invited to go hunt in Kenya. He said, wow, that'd be great. And he said, but I'm real busy this year. I'll do it next year. And then they closed hunting in Kenya for, decades. And, of course, then you had the president's wife running the biggest poaching ring operation in the country. They decimated, actually more than that. Decimated means down by 10%. They probably they took it down by 90%, the wildlife population, killing elephants, official poaching by the government. But it's one of those deals of, regretting the things you didn't do. When you have an opportunity, do it. I always tell people, try to find a way to say yes. Because so many people are so quick to just immediately jump to no. Stop, take a breath, and try to find a way to get to yes. It opens up a lot of interesting possibilities in your life, and you'll be doing a lot of things. Try different things. It's, who's to say? It could work out, as the man says. Could change your life. 866-TALK-GUN. What have you said yes to? I mentioned the story about Sarah Cade, a self-described liberal. She's biracial, passionately liberal, and she's also a self-described gun nut and defender of gun ownership. And I particularly liked where they said she was asked, how many guns do you own? She said, well, I don't have as many guns as I do shoes, but not by much. I like it. By the way, if you watch our Guns and Gear television show, you've seen us wearing these hats. And it's the coolest, stealthy gun design hat. It's people look at it and go, what is that? Is that like the Pepsi symbol? Is that the Nike swoosh symbol? And I says, no, just look at it. Just stop and look at it for a minute. And if they're gun people, they go, oh. If they're not gun people, they'll never get it. And that's the fun of wearing the thing. It's a trigger. It's a cool circle with a trigger in it. And it looks kind of like a swoosh. It looks kind of like something else. But if you're a gun person, you'll go, oh, I get that. That's a trigger. That is so cool. Well, we just ordered up a bunch of new hats. You can get them over at shopguntalk.com. And if you are of the flat brim variety, you like that, yeah, we got flat brims for you as well. So we have those. And we have distressed, where it looks like it's time to already throw it away and you buy it already beat up. Not my thing, but hey, that's okay. We got a little bit for everybody. But it's pretty cool. We also have the classic Gun Talk logo hat. Got a few of those left as well. So if you go to shopguntalk.com, take a look at our really cool circle trigger, we call it the Guns and Gear logo hat. It's one you can wear everywhere. You're wearing a gun thing, and most people will never know, and I really like that. I like the whole stealthiness of the deal. It's pretty cool. We also have shirts and DVDs and hats and books and some other things. We've got a brand new cool shirt I really like. It's got a double stack magazine and a single stack magazine on it. If you're a gun person, you'll look at it and go, yeah, I get that. It makes sense. But other people go, I don't get it. What is that? And it's the double stack, and then the greater sign, greater than sign, and then the single stack, double stack being greater than a single stack. You go, yeah, okay, good. Well, that's just fun. It's something you could wear around your shooting buddies, and they'd go, where did you get that? That's so cool. Yeah, I know. Shopguntalk.com. Tell you what, when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about calibers. 9, 40, 45, 38, 357, 327, 380 as a defensive caliber. I think so. And also about size of guns and where are you carrying your guns. Purses, appendix carry, IWB, OWB, what kind of holsters. Each year I've become more adamant about needing a good holster and a good rig and a good belt and the whole system, because it is in fact a system. And if it's uncomfortable for you, it will not work. If it's uncomfortable, you will not wear it. If it's uncomfortable, you'll not wear it long enough. You won't wear it where you're supposed to. You'll be looking for reasons to take it off. Maybe this is a measurement. When you come home at the end of the day, are you eager to take off your gun? Or can you just keep wearing it for another 2 or 3 or 4 hours? Yeah, it doesn't mean you have to. But would you be comfortable doing that? If not, maybe you ought to think about something else. Just a thought. I'd be curious to know what your journey, and it's a journey, what your journey in looking for a holster or a carry method has brought you to. And sometimes it's more than one, because you're carrying different size guns for different situations. I'd love to know all that. It's just one of those deals where we get to share information. I can kind of tell you what's been working for me, what I've been trying, and you can tell me what's working for you or a different system or something. It's how we help each other. Well, I appreciate that. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. Of course, we are, as always, looking for your range reports. What have you been out shooting? And have you had interesting conversations recently about these school shootings, maybe with family members? It's happening. We're having that discussion.